and welcome to another episode of Double B's Garage. I hope you guys are doing great. Merry Christmas, almost Happy New Year. We got something exciting for you today. I got a lot of other projects that I'm working on, and some of them have been delayed for a multitude of different reasons. But today we're going to be focusing on the 993. Now, I actually got the turbo back about a month ago, and it was at the body shop for almost 8 weeks. I've owned the car for almost 11 years, and it had nicks and scratches and nicks and scratches and stone chips kind of all over, just years of driving. The car's got 69,000 miles on it. And what I wanted to do was kind of give it a new lease on life, right? So I had the entire car painted. It was there for 2 months. It was a big process, but I'm glad I did. The car turned out amazing. I got the whole front end PPF now with paint protection film. The other thing was, I'll show you some pictures in this video, but my car had Gemballa side skirts. And for those of you that know, you know. Unfortunately, even though Gemballa side skirts looked great in the 90s and early 2000s when they put these on these cars, the problem was in front of the rear wheel to actually put the side skirts on, you had to cut the metal of the car to install the Gemballa side skirts because it had these kind of interlaced brake cooling ducts, and to be able to fit those brake cooling ducts under the car, you had to cut some metal off to fit the side skirt on. So when I bought the car 11 years ago, I knew that was the case, and I knew one day I would fix them. And I started getting to the point where I was going to paint the car, and so I said, you know what, this is the time. If I'm going to fix these, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to bring the car back to OEM stat. So instead of bringing the car to like a custom body shop where they would have had to kind of English wheel and form a new triangular piece of metal where somebody had cut it off before, what I chose to do is search for about 6 months to find skins for a 993 Turbo, a 993 C4S or C2S, which all carry the wide body version or variant of the 993. So I found some skins at LA Dismantler and I bought them. And basically what I got was from the quarter all the way halfway down the door. So I had plenty of metal. And what they did at the body shop was they basically lined up the skin on where the cut was and they stitched the two pieces together instead of trying to reform that metal that Porsche made back in the day. And it turned out beautifully. I mean, one, you would never know if I didn't tell you that it ever had that done. I always say, it's better to be honest and tell the whole story, and this is the story of the car, right? Somebody put those Gemballa side skirts on, and literally for a while, and even up until a year ago, I really thought they looked really nice. It gave the car a much wider, meaner stance from the side, but I just wanted OEM look, and I'm so thankful that I ended up finding those skins. I think the skins probably was less expensive than having somebody form the metal themselves, to kind of make it look right. So these looked perfect. They just butted them up together, and they fit really, really well. So then after that, the car was painted. I have a bunch of pictures of the metal work just to make sure that everybody could see kind of how it looked, and it was done really correctly. The body shop that I use is called Diamond Auto Bodies, and they're in Fresno, California, and they're the only Porsche certified body shop in the Central Valley that I'm aware of, and they do phenomenal work. And they also work on a lot of Teslas, and Teslas have these panels. You talk about the Giga presses, right, from Tesla. They make these huge panels in this press. So if a Tesla is in an accident, you can't just buy a fender or a rear quarter section. A lot of times they have to stitch that metal by buying an entire panel into the old panel to graft it together, right, to make sure that it works perfectly. So this shop is really, really well known for working on Teslas and making them look beautiful when they're done and doing that stitching technique, which is what they did in my car. My car was a little tiny job compared to what they're used to, but having the metal shaped already from Porsche, from a donor vehicle, I think really saved a lot of time and money from my standpoint, but also from the labor that Diamond Auto Body would have put into it. So they did a phenomenal job. This is probably the 5th or 6th car that they've worked on or painted for me. They did the Supra, they've done the Lamborghini Murcielago, they've done my red 911, they did some work on my Porsche 928, and others. So they did a lot, and then they just painted my 912 Grand Prix White, which is right behind the camera. So today, what we're going to be doing is something really cool, and we're going to be putting on Morimoto lights. Morimoto came out with a LED version of these rear taillights for the 993. And what I like about them, I've always seen like the Gunther cars, and even the Singer, for example, but more the Gunther, the taillights on them have this long LED bar that kind of goes and cascades across the taillights, the center section all the way down to the taillight itself. And I always thought it gave the 993, which is, in my opinion, one of the best Porsches ever made and the prettiest cars ever made. It gave it a more modern look. And that's what we're going to be doing today, right? We're going to be changing these lights out to Morimoto's. And they have a couple different options, and I wanted to kind of briefly talk about that. As you can see in the background here, these are the smoked options. So I went with a smoked option because I have a silver car. And I thought, instead of having a bright red light back here like I've always had, which I'm going to keep these and can always replace them back if I want to, I wanted something that maybe eliminated some of the red on this car. I think if you had a black car or maybe even a white car or a silver car, I think the smoked would look really, really good. Just my opinion, but this for the silver was a slam dunk. Up front, I barely have any orange anymore. Also, a lot of them have been transferred to the clear, so I just think this was kind of a good option. I'm excited today to get these installed. The one good thing about this kit is when you get the kit, they send you this card that says thank you, of course, and it's got QR codes where you can download the PDF file, or you can go to a video to kind of show you how to install them. I read through the PDF file. It's really, really simple. They do have like this LED bar that goes across the license plate. I was unaware of that when I bought these actually, but I probably would not have bought that anyways. I don't need necessarily brighter light when I'm either reversing or for my tail light or for the license plate light, but I did not get that. So it skips a few steps. Normally you'd have to take off this bumper right here and then fish the wire up through this center section here. So today we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be installing these lights. It's really, really simple. Again, the directions come with the lights, but I'll kind of give you some pointers and tips along the way if I feel they're necessary. Otherwise, we'll just get these installed and see what they look like. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you're excited about what we're gonna do. And if you have a 993, this may be an option for you down the road. So let's get at it. I already had this unlocked, and I took this shroud off the intercooler on the 993 Turbo just to give me a little better access to this panel. This panel is just a little plastic panel that sits like this, and there's 4 little widgets or little kind of plastic connectors that you turn 90 degrees to loosen. I used a quarter. You can use a large washer. The flathead screwdriver doesn't really fit in there that well because they're kind of circular in shape in terms of the indentation. So I used a quarter to remove those. That was like a minute. And now we're going to take out the tail lights. And then they have a couple block off plugs. And these block off plugs are for the reverse lights that we'll end up blocking off in the tail light when we remove them on each side. So this is what the block off plug looks like. See here, it's just a little plastic plug, and that's going to block off that plug that we had in there originally. So let's get after it.
Fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? 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 They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
All right, there you have it. Couple thoughts about this system so far. I haven't even turned them on, so I don't know what they look like other than obviously in the pictures on the Lighting Guru. But they look awesome. I mean, I'm sure by now you can already see that they look way more modern than before. The issue I had was this light has to be perfectly centered, and it does have the ability to move a little bit left and right because there's 3 locating pins and a tab on each tail light that centers into this center section. And what happened was this was shifted over towards the driver's side, and this did not have enough grabbing on the tongs. So the minute I tightened this screw, this side would just pop right out, which I looked at the factory tail lights, and the tongs look to be the same length. So this shouldn't be an issue. And this light, I haven't measured that light to this light yet, but I would imagine why would they have made it shorter? I'm not sure why. Right now it seems secure. I'll want to mess with it a little bit more, so I'm not going to put this little panel back on right now because I want to make sure that I'm not going to go down the road and all of a sudden this thing's going to be hanging out of the center section. But right now this is perfectly centered in the car based on each quarter. So it should be fine. But let's turn it on and see if it works, right? See if I did my job correctly here. Oh, that looks so sick. Woo! Brakes. Oh, so one reverse light's working, the other one is not. Not sure why that is, but this should be both reverse lights working right now. But those are really cool, huh? This one in here, not sure why that's not working. I'll have to take that tail light out and make sure it's plugged in, but everything's done correctly, so I'm not sure why that wouldn't be working. But otherwise, it looks... That looks so sick, huh? All right, so I'm going to investigate this rear tail light, and by the time I upload the video, I'll at least mention in the description what happened or why this isn't working. I don't know if this is just a problem with the center section and maybe they need to replace this center section because all the wires are hooked up over here. But I will verify that, and I'll make sure I note it in the comment section whether or not it was an effective rear light that's kind of in this system or in this center section, or if it just like the wire kind of popped out. I will tell you, on this side, I was putting in one of the connections, and when I put the connection together on this light, the wire popped out of the back. So I don't know if you saw me with the pliers, but I had to put it back in and make sure it was re-secured in that little plastic coupler, or the pin connector coupler. So maybe they just didn't crimp them enough or whatnot, but obviously it's fine. It went right back in. It had a little weather grommet on there to protect it against rain and stuff, so that's fine. But I will open this guy back up to make sure that this is going to work. But I love it. I think the smoked look on the silver looks the best, in my opinion. I'm sure the red would look great too. If you look on their ad, they show a green car. I don't know if it's Irish green or British green or what it is, but it looks really, really pretty. And it's got the red on there, and I think it looks great. I think the smoke wouldn't look as good. So anyways, I think this looks great. I'm excited to kind of get it out on the road and see what it looks like driving down the road. But for now, I think this is good. One other thing I wanted to show you is when I did all the body work on the car, one thing that I did was I redid the headlight. Just the lenses. These had been like spattered with all the stones and debris on the road for all the time. I think these were like $200 each at Porsche. But what a great kind of addition to the front of the car. It made it look brand new again. And it's just the lenses that go on there. I thought it was a really, really worthwhile upgrade to the car to make it, kind of look new again. And then this car has the factory aero kit. These are the only orange pieces I have on the car. I'm going to probably clear those out. But these are the fog lights and the ducting. But it's got the aero kit. And then now, as you can see, all factory lower end. This is where the metal would have been cut here. So they regrafted that in there. And then I got all new side skirts, covers, and then PPF the whole front end. But otherwise, this guy is ready to go. So I hope you liked that video. Again, it was pretty simple to do. I think there's some nuances with the lighting system that I have to kind of make sure are working correctly. Again, I'll check that reverse light. But all in all, for the price I paid for this system, it gives it a way more modern look, and I'm really happy with so far what I'm seeing. And I'm excited, like I said, to get it out on the road. It's nasty, rainy weather out today, so I'm not going to be able to do that today. But thanks again so much for watching Double B's Garage. If you do like what you see, this is a hobby for me. It's not my full-time job, but I love doing it. And if you like that, please like the video and subscribe, and we really appreciate it. All right, take care.